Pilini, and thank you everyone, all four presenters once more, for a very exciting and interesting session. Before I talk loud enough to be heard, I'm sure I can. Before I open the floor to questions and your comments, let me just tell you what I found as a global point or a thread that we can maybe start our discussions from. I believe it was in the 80s that Meryl Swain, who was mentioned by one of you, talked about the concept of languaging, and he was of course applying it to a very second language learner context, where languaging was described as the process whereby students, learners, made meaning to themselves and amongst each other, and how that helped them to advance in their journey of second language learning. And from the 80s, now actually, and from that second language learning context, this idea of languaging has moved on to a larger sphere, where we talk about languaging, even translanguaging, and where we look at this act of engaging in language-related activity or in producing language, in the making of meaning, in the negotiation of knowledge, in transacting ideas. And so languaging has become a very dynamic, a very politically charged, as Tiffany said, concept. And I thought that this was really interesting because here you had presenters who go from very specific second language learning contexts all the way up to digital and cyberspace, where what we are seeing is languaging taking on an entirely new meaning and in an entirely different, non-learner-centered, non-classroom-based situation. So I have a couple of comments, but before I start on them, I would like to open the floor for comments, questions to any of the speakers, please.
I'm very surprised and even happy that only the ladies seem to be interested in English. So it's a good indication. And I'm the only non-English person here, I think. So forgive me if I say something wrong. I was very impressed by the presentation of Mr. T.A. Very impressed. If I were the Vice Chancellor, I will invite you to join my university and give Desivel the maximum salary. But you have to set me a target. Anyway, this subject is very close to my heart. I have been struggling with the system because of English. So, chairperson may not know I was Vice Chancellor of a university. So, but we didn't have art stream. So, one observation I had was, I was in charge of this thing called CA. You may not know, people with A levels were taken. So I had to decide on a policy what language to our teaching. So actually I read books from Vidas research to decide on English. Then we were worried about the signal of Buddhist sentiments. So then they will oppose this. I found that they are not opposed to English. Even Gandhi in India has said that the British movement will be English. So Vedas will say character, dietism was the figure for the Buddhist, signal Buddhist. Dietism would speak English. He did everything, but he was studying English. And the other person was Anagar Dharampada. he had studied, he had been telling me we must study English. So I was very sure that single Buddhist sentiments would work. The other was our Devi people who are born equally. So I knew that also if we tell them we are not going to force, this will be voluntary, they will not obey. So when I put alarm that all the teaching should be done in English, all the lecturers accepted this. The students were also very happy. But the board students filed a case against us and we lost it. The student leader came and apologized to me. He said, we are not against English, but our lecturers didn't teach us in English. That was the problem we had. There were good English teachers, but to teach subjects like economics and so on, there were no teachers who could do this in English. So that was the biggest problem. Anyway, we congratulate you for taking this. And I'm sure students will be happy to follow lectures in English. Please do their studies in English. Now, you have made some recommendations. I think I can ask you the question that you can add one more recommendation. This came from one of my friends, late one Mr. Meril Panayandu, who was English teacher, member of Parliament, Morocco. So he came to me one day and he gave me an idea. What was his idea? What he said was this, that let us, can we university start a subject? Now there are only three, that time three subjects. Without A-level English, can we do some little low course in English, call it by some name, English or basic English or whatever. So I have a third subject where we can do the whole 3 or 4 years. By the end of 4 years, 3 years, they will be good in English. And there are other subjects also, let them study in English. So I took this person straight to the German university.
Professor, I think we would appreciate a very succinct discussion or recommendation.
Yes. So I am just suggesting and I
yes, please,
just
thank you.
So the suggestion was that, but the UGC didn't accept this. Then I wrote to every vice chancellor of the universities, Caribbean, Sriram, all that, this idea. Nobody ever replied. So is it possible for you to think of that? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, on that area as well.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions from the audience?
I just want to get a clarification from the leader instructor. Could you just explain what you really suggest for this singular narratives or hegemonic narratives in Wikipedia? Just explain what you really recommend.
Very briefly, I think what I meant was that now Wikipedia, because it's open content and people can participate and anyone can make any edit. Basically, it can be a platform where the multiplicity can be enhanced. So various viewpoints from various positions can be there. So one way I suggested of doing that was to convert platforms, one thing. That is to now, for example, in Wikipedia it's text-based format, but there is space for other things to come. For example, maps and then Google, even social media, for example, Twitter, Facebook, things like that to converge. Now, if an event happened, then there is a lot of content generated on various platforms from different perspectives. I think all of these things are sometimes could be problematic, but also equally valid. Everybody has a perspective, but all those things, if we can make the reader aware of the existence of different interpretations, different ways of looking at the event and interpreting the event, that is good. And that is because original content, what I meant there, so enabling original content, converging, it leads to enabling original content. Now, here in usual entries, you read other sources and you rewrite that content from your position, from your stance. Whereas if you make that original text available, let's say for example a comment, a video, an interview, available, then you are making it available to larger public to scrutinize, to interpret and come to associations of their own. Now for example, if we take that specific example of anti-Muslim riots, now in terms of in that opening section it said this one was because of this happened because of this particular. It's not as simple as that. There are so many things coming together. So if you say something like there were number of perspectives with regard to the root cause of this violence and list them out and show the material to support that each point of view, then the reader has the chance, then it is diverse, then it is multiple, then it is truly democratic. So the reader has the chance to immerse him or herself in that material and to form interpretive associations of their own. So that's what I meant.
I just want to draw your attention to the concept of democracy, because democracy also has its own problems, right?
Yes.
For example, like even if we take the political problem in Sri Lanka, some say it's a part of our democratic modernity. I think
Mm-hmm.
is how it is maybe due to the way the democratic works, right? So in that sense, the problem is like yes, hegemony is a problem.
Mm.
Maybe we can escape from sort of singular narratives, but making it democratic, so it might lead to some other problems as well. For example, we are jumping into a more agonistic space.
Anarchist, probably, when it comes to a text like that.
So how do
yes.
you address that problem?
Yes, I think now.
It's good to propose democracy, but it
Yes.
is also another problem, right?
I think I mentioned that as well, that democracy can be a problem because democracy means that everyone can participate. Now here, actually there are signs of participation. As I told you, 109 additions, retractions to that date. So most of those changes were rejected somehow based on, so there is space and those rejections, as one of the rejection I showed, cruel Muslims and innocent Buddhists, very politicized. Those things are sometimes not there. So sometimes when the majority is there with good intentions, maybe the pitfalls of democracy can be avoided in terms of a text like that. Maybe.
Very often we talk about democracy, but the pseudo-democracy that poses as democracy is, I think, what we are dealing with in reality. Yeah? Anyone else? Any other comments? We have 7 minutes more. Can I just ask you? Sorry.
Can I ask a question? CJ Kotarawala, you mentioned about control group. So could you just elaborate a bit about how you did the study? How did you control the group? Did you take what are the measures that you sort of took to do the research, and you got granted permission to sort of have a separate control group in your, the ethical aspects and getting permissions, I'm curious about how you did that.
I think it is just scaffolding as they suggested, right?
Prior to the experiment, we just got verbal consent from the participants, and at the end of our experiment, after the 15 weeks, we provide the improvisational input to the other groups as compensation. We had to provide the improvisational input to the control group as well.
That is after the 15 weeks.
Yeah, at the end of our research, we had to give the compensation to the other group. We let them to act out improvisations in the following 15 weeks. So that's how we treated them in the control group.
So how did you manage time like now with the ongoing program that you are supposed to do, and then using this improvisation, you must have taken quite a lot of time for that. So don't you consider that it is a risk? Now it is your research, okay, good, and acknowledged, and you are encouraged. But at the same time, was it at the risk of making the students lose what they want to learn?
We employed, in this study, we employed only, in the experimental group, we had only 24 students. So when you put them in pairs, it's like 12 pairs. They acted out improvisations they took around 2 minutes, because they were given the role cards spontaneously. They were not given much preparation time, assuming that they are adult learners at the level of intermediate learners. So it doesn't hamper the prevailing ongoing program. There was only 12 improvisations that students watched and engaged. And as I mentioned in my presentation, they were used as warmers in the class prior to the English lesson.
Thank you. And I have a question to Birini, and even your recommendations, I suppose, you mentioned that the eclectic method was successful in the Asian context. Why in the Asian context?
Well, so, in my research, I was focusing about literature which is published in Asia. So, with the current Latin and Islamic. But it doesn't only apply to Asia, but overall.
We are only speaking about Wikipedia. Generally, if we want to get some scientific matter or something, we refer to Wikipedia. But not maybe we are mistaken. Not for things like riots or something. But don't you use the other media, like we have newspaper. We have, say, I often refer to Mirror. We have breaking news. That's the only thing I read. So when there's an event, a lot of people come. Some people outside, they give various comments. So isn't that democracy?
And the freedom to refer to any source you want, is that?
Did you refer to other channels, not only Wikipedia, but others?
I particularly looked at cyberspace with the assumption that cyberspace is a very powerful tool today and it is shaping our society in numerous ways. First is that, and in terms of other sources for which you refer to information on anything, any event. Now, if I consider myself and probably most of you, if you want to find out information about analysis riots which happened in June 2014, in 2016, at this point in time, you cannot go back to newspapers or even books. The thing that you do today, that you run a search, and Wikipedia is so popular that it is the first search result that comes up. So when choosing that site, that was one of the things I looked at. Although in academic circles we don't encourage reference to Wikipedia, even to understand a concept that is complex to us, it is through Wikipedia that we host, because it is a combination of all possible resources that could be there on that subject. So in that way, it's a starting point for everybody, not even for students, but even for us academics, it is a starting point. And in that way, I think it's a very influential source. Yes.
Wikipedia is an encyclopedia, so we require encyclopedia to find out facts, not the opinions. So that's what I feel. If you have opinions there, then you damage the reader's attributes. So if you want to find out, I'm adding something to his comment. Okay, so we prefer encyclopedias to find facts, not the opinions. So as you said, in Wikipedia we find opinions as well. It means the writer's attributes you can find with the facts as well. So it damages the reader's opinion sometimes.
Probably, but what I feel is that in in a case politicized and with complexities such as ethnic riots, ethnic conflicts, there are no facts as such. There are no singular truths. So when you are referring to even a site like Wikipedia, which is encyclopedia, therefore truth, I think we need to be aware of that there cannot be one singular truth about that matter, but number of things that you can come to a conclusion on. So if you have original content, I think it's important so that rather than reading some one single author's interpretation of that content, you have the freedom to form a
That's why I'm
decision.
saying the reader should decide it. Reader should decide whether it's information or the reader should have the ability to understand
Sure,
whether
yes,
it's information or it's fact or opinions.
Yep.
Can we go to
Just a quick comment. There is also kind of a paradoxical aspect to this democracy, because I would like to sort of invite you to consider about the writings of Hannah Arendt. Essay about I think about Socrates' dialectics. She tells that people internally they have a lot of pluralities, but when they encounter the society, they have to, they sort of construct sort of one particular form and it goes to the society. So likewise, even in the society there are a lot of pluralities, but when it comes to the collective consciousness, once again there is one. So democracy, even though there is plurality, as you said, even in cyberspace, when it comes to sort of collective opinions, collective consciousness, even also for social movements or mobilizations, then again, one hegemonic or authoritarian something can come out of even from a plural setting, even though we make it more plural, even though we advocate to make it more plural. So how do you sort of, address that paradoxical situation?
That is true.
It's actually true that although there are plurality, as you said, that the voice could be hegemonic or the overall approach could be dominant. That is true because this particular entry I was referring to, it was referencing 104 sources at that point. So in a way, in fact, everything is read and interpreted and singular. The narrative becomes singular. So that is how it becomes dominant and hegemonic. So I think what I suggested were things that could challenge that singularity and interpretive framework. Not giving that, not having that voice there, singular voice, yes.
To add to what Professor G.T. Silva said, he asked why didn't you refer to other kinds of information as in newspapers and stuff, but why Wikipedia? Because once you read a newspaper article or something, you cannot really add something to it on your own. But Wikipedia in that cyberspace allows a kind of platform which allows you to come up with alternative readings, alternative narratives, alternative voices. So that is why I think platforms like Wikipedia are becoming increasingly popular. Because sometimes you might go through the newspaper article and you say, no, this is not how it happened. Right? And you might say it to your friends, but you will not say it out loud to a larger audience.
There is no space for interaction and yes,
intervention. So the readers can actually actively engage in it. But as in any other case, it could be positive as well as negative. But at least it gives a chance for people to actively engage in what is reported there.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Just before we close the session, the other thing I would like to add to that is that now we say, I think there is a contradiction between the term online encyclopedia, which Wikipedia purports to be, as opposed to an editable platform that is open access. So there is to me a real contradiction because we are trained conventionally to think that if you go to an encyclopedia, what we encounter is fact. Wikipedia is not fact. So it is very much opinion and it is changing and multiple opinion. Okay, I think we've run out of time. But I would like to thank the 4 presenters. Can we put our hands together once more today? Very well done, and thank you very much for your participation and attention. Have a good evening.
stimulating session. I would like to invite Dr. Romola Yusuf to share the session to award certificates to our presenters. CJ Kotalawala. T.N. Gardeheva. M.T.N. Vijayakundar. Thank you. And now I would like to invite Dr. M.M. Jagodana, Dean FMSSH, to present a token of appreciation to the session chair. Sorry, my eyes closed there.